Hello, I'm Kevin Burton, the creator of Polar, and I need your help. I'll touch upon this in a minute, but Polar is something I've been working on for more than a decade. Simply put, I want to reboot the internet and take it to a time when data and knowledge was shared more freely. Polar is the platform I'm building to enable this vision. I see Polar as a layer on top of the existing internet, which includes easy content sharing, annotations, and archival. To that end, I'm starting a crowdfunding campaign to keep Polar open source and really put the project into overdrive, and I need your support. Here's the plan. First, we're going to raise $25,000 from our current user base over the next month. We polled our users and asked them what they would be willing to donate, and the average was $27. And of course, we have thousands of users, so I think this is a reasonable goal. Now, if you'd like to donate more than $27, don't let me stop you. We're also going to allow donors to convert their donations to Polar Premium. There's a link below to the crowdfunding campaign and also one directly in Polar when you're ready to donate. Once we've raised this initial round, we're then going to use that momentum to raise $150,000 from the internet as a whole, possibly through a system like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, but we're still investigating our options. This should get us through the next 6 to 9 months and allow us to apply for grants to continue supporting development over the long term. The grant application process itself can take from 3 to 6 months, but the funding could be much larger to allow us to build something really special. The money will be used to help us improve usability, reliability, and focus on feature requests from our core user base. Additionally, we're planning on adding mobile support, including iOS and Android, and improving our user interface, including a dark mode. We're also going to implement a new viewer to support popular document formats like EPUB and MOBI. More importantly, we're going to focus on team sharing and collaboration. These are two major features of Polar we haven't shipped yet, but they're the ones I'm most excited about. There's a lot under the surface of Polar that you guys haven't seen yet. Mostly architectural work, but I think we're really close to something amazing. I've included links below to our roadmap if you're interested in exactly what we'd like to accomplish. The long-term goal is to have Polar financially self-sufficient, but in order to get there, we need more time to expand our initial user base. Polar will be funded by a freemium model, with 95% of our users using Polar for free. More importantly, I want to continue to keep Polar open source. I think it's vital that a tool that holds your personal knowledge repository is built on a foundation that you can trust simply isn't going to vanish. Polar's primary funding long-term will be supported by sales of Polar Premium. We will always support using Polar as open source, and users can build from source code directly. We will also have a free version of Polar, which will be very easy to install and without annoying ads or nagging you to constantly upgrade. The premium versions of Polar are designed to be very affordable, $4.99 per month, or about the price of a cup of coffee. I figure if we haven't generated enough value for you that you wouldn't buy me a cup of coffee, I think we're doing something wrong. I've included a rough feature breakdown so you can see what features we intend on charging for at each level. The funds we raise will be primarily used to allow me to concentrate on Polar, but also to bring in additional developers who are more skilled in specific areas, including user interface, design, and React. Polar is a very important project for me. I'm very passionate about open content and open source and have been devoted to it for the last 25 years of my life in fighting for the open web. I was one of the inventors of RSS and podcasting, and helped create many projects within the Apache Software Foundation, including Apache Maven. The last 10 years, I've been running a search company I started named DataStreamer, which is a petabyte-scale search engine which I built to index large-scale web content on behalf of our customers. I'm deeply troubled with the way the internet is becoming more and more locked up behind walled gardens. We're in the middle of a data war. Companies like Facebook and Elsevier want to lock up the web and science. But knowledge dies without oxygen. Science literally cannot work without active peer review. There's also something that directly impacts education as a whole. College has become a bubble with students taking on hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt just to finish their degree. The price of textbooks alone has increased 1,000% in the last 20 years. What's sad is that we're losing. Facebook made $53 billion last year. By comparison, Wikimedia, which shares their data openly, raised $100 million. This means Facebook made 530 times more than Wikimedia. Now, it's a bit of an apples to oranges comparison, But the challenge is that strictly nonprofit organizations generally tend to lag behind for-profit corporations. Mark Twain once said that by the time the truth is out of bed, a lie is halfway around the world. I feel the same about open and closed data. Closed data models have the potential for such massive revenues that open data just lags behind. Polar is more of a long-term vision around distributed content and knowledge sharing, which I think can break down these walled gardens and reboot the web to a time when content and knowledge was shared more freely. The reason I'm so focused on Polar becoming economically self-sufficient is that large organizations like Facebook have such a massive cash advantage compared to nonprofits like Wikimedia. This puts us at a major disadvantage. I want Polar to be able to stand by itself and have the capital needed to reboot the internet, but at the same time not infringe on the rights of our user base or lock up portions of the internet the way other companies have done. Edmund Burke once said that for evil to win is for good men to do nothing. This is an uphill battle, but we're in this together. Thanks for all your support.